Previous year question and answer solution of stream. Civil Engineering, Semester 7, Paper Code CE PC 506. Subject name, Transportation Engineering. 1. A. The spacing between the contraction joints of a CC pavement is 4.2 meters. Find the tensile stress developed in the pavement due to contraction if the coefficient of friction between bottom of the pavement and supporting layer is 1.2 and unit weight of concrete is 2,400 kilograms, M3. B. What do you mean by frictional stress? C. What is radius of relative stiffness? Answer. A. Given spacing between contraction joints equal to 4.2 meters, coefficient of friction, F, equal to 1.2, unit weight of concrete, W, equal to 2,400 kilograms, M3, to find the tensile stress, sigma, developed due to contraction. The formula is the tensile stress sigma F is equal to W times LF divided by 2 times 10 to the power of 4, where W is 2,400 kilograms per cubic meter, which is the unit weight of concrete. LF is 4.2 meters, which is the length of the slab between contraction joints. F is 1.2, which is the coefficient of friction. By substituting the values into the equation, we get sigma F equals 2,400 times 4.2, divided by 2 times 10 to the power of 4 kilograms per square centimeter. Final answer. Tensile stress sigma F is 0.504 kilograms per square centimeter. B. Frictional stress refers to the resistance to movement that occurs when two surfaces interact. In the context of cement concrete, CC, pavements, frictional stress is the stress generated due to the resistance of the pavement to expansion or contraction caused by temperature changes. The frictional stress between the slab and the supporting subgrade prevents the pavement from freely moving, resulting in tensile stresses in the pavement. This is calculated using the formula. The tensile stress sigma F is equal to W times LF, divided by 2 times 10 to the power of 4, where W is the unit weight of concrete. LF is the length of the pavement slab. C. The radius of relative stiffness is a measure of the pavement's resistance to bending under load. It is the radius at which the maximum stress occurs due to the application of a wheel load. It is calculated using the following formula. L is equal to the expression 1.6 times A plus H squared minus 0.675 times H, all divided by 12 times K times the quantity 1 minus mu squared, where A is the radius of the wheel load distribution, H is the thickness of the slab, K is the modulus of subgrade reaction, mu is Poisson's ratio of the concrete. 2. A. A vertical summit curve is to be designed when two grades plus 1/50th and 1/80th meet on a highway. The stopping side distance and overtaking side distance required are 180 meters and 640 meters respectively. But due to site conditions, the length of vertical curve has to be restricted to a maximum value of 500 meters if possible. Calculate the length of summit curve needed to fulfill the requirements of I. Stopping side distance and 2. Overtaking side distance, or at least intermediate side distance, and discuss the results. B. Discuss the types of summit curves. Answer. A. Given grades plus 1/50th and 1/80th. Stopping side distance SSD equal to 180 meters. Overtaking side distance OSD equal to 640 meters. Maximum curve length equal to 500 meters. The length of summit curve is determined based on the side distance requirement. The formula to calculate the length is derived from the parabolic curve equation. L is equal to S divided by N, where S is the site distance, N is the deviation angle given by an equal to algebraic difference in gradients, I, stopping site distance SSD. For the SSD, we use the given value of 180 meters. The algebraic difference in gradients, N, is equal to the sum of 1 divided by 50 plus 1 divided by 80, which equals 0.03, expressed as a percentage. Thus, the length of summit curve for SSD is L equals 180 divided by 0.03, which equals 240 meters. Overtaking sight distance OSD. For OSD, we use the given value of 640 meters. Using the same deviation angle n equals 0.03, we calculate L equals 640 divided by 0.03, which equals 2,133 meters. Since the maximum length allowed is 500 meters due to sight constraints, only the stopping sight distance requirement of 240 meters can be met. The overtaking sight distance, 2,133 meters, exceeds the sight limit and thus cannot be fulfilled within the given restriction. Discussion. The stopping sight distance requirement is fulfilled with a curve length of 240 meters, which is within the limit. The overtaking sight distance cannot be achieved as its required length, 2,133 meters, exceeds the available 500 meters, indicating that additional design or adjustments may be necessary for overtaking or intermediate sight distances. B. Summit curves are vertical curves with upward gradients. They are formed when two gradients meet and are crucial for ensuring smooth transitions and proper sight distances. There are several types of summit curves based on how the gradients meet. Positive summit curve. This occurs when two positive gradients, upward slopes, meet. The curve is needed to provide a smooth transition between the two grades and ensure proper visibility for drivers. Positive flat summit curve. This occurs when a positive gradient meets a flat gradient. 0% it is used in locations where the grade increases from a flat road to an upward slope. Ascending-descending summit curve. This occurs when an ascending gradient meets a descending gradient. The summit curve in this case helps in ensuring safe sight distances and comfort during vehicle transition between these opposing slopes. Descending summit curve. This occurs when two descending gradients meet. It is used to smoothen the transition when two downhill gradients meet and to ensure safety and comfort for vehicles moving downhill. Conclusion. Summit curves are essential for smooth transitions between gradients, ensuring safety, comfort, and visibility. They are generally designed as parabolic curves due to their simplicity and effectiveness in providing consistent sight distances. 3a. Explain maximum and minimum SUP elevation. B. Design speed of a road is 65 km/h. The friction coefficient is 0.3% and reaction time is 2.5 seconds. Calculate headlight sight distance and intermediate sight distance. Answer. A. Maximum SUP elevation. Maximum SUP elevation refers to the highest allowable rate of transverse slope provided on the outer edge of a curve to counteract the centrifugal force. It varies based on terrain, plain and rolling terrain. Maximum superelevation is 7% hilly terrain, can go up to 10% urban roads. Limited to 4% IRC guidelines set the maximum superelevation to prevent vehicle instability, especially for slow-moving trucks with high centers of gravity. Minimum SUP elevation. The minimum superelevation, typically between 2 to 4%, is required for drainage purposes on curves with large radii, ensuring proper water runoff from the road surface. B. Given design speed v equal to 65 km per hour equal to 18.06 meters per second. Friction coefficient v equal to 0.36. Reaction time t equal 2.5 seconds. Headlight sight distance, HSD. Headlight sight distance is the distance a vehicle can travel at night under the illumination of headlights. The formula is SD is equal to V times T plus V squared divided by 2 times G times F. Substituting the values, HSD equals 18.06 times 2.5 plus 18.06 squared, all divided by 2 times 9.8, 1 times 0.36. This simplifies to 45.15 plus 46.64, which equals 91.79 meters. Thus, the headlight sight distance equal to 91.4 meters approximately. Intermediate sight distance, ISD. The intermediate sight distance is typically twice the stopping sight distance. ISD is equal to 2 times HSD, which is 2 times 91.4, resulting in 182.8 meters. Let me know if you need further assistance. Thus, the intermediate sight distance equal to 182.8 meters. CTIE. A. Write short notes on design speed and stopping sight distance. B. Find the SSD on a highway at a descending gradient 2.5% for a design speed of 75 kmph. Assume other suitable data as per IRC guidelines. Answer. A. Design speed. Design speed is the selected speed at which a highway is intended to be driven under ideal conditions. It determines the geometric features of the road, such as curvature, lane width, and shoulder width. Design speed influences the entire highway design process, ensuring that vehicles can travel safely at this speed. It varies depending on road type and terrain. Plain terrain, higher design speeds, 80-100 km per hour. Rolling terrain, moderate speeds, 60-80 km per hour. Mountainous terrain, lower speeds, 40 to 60 km per hour. Stopping sight distance, SSD. SSD is the minimum distance required to stop a vehicle safely after an obstacle becomes visible. It is the sum of the lag distance, reaction time, and braking distance. The formula for SSD is equal to V times T plus V squared divided by 2 times G times F, equal to design speed, ms, equal to driver's reaction time, typically 2.5 seconds, equal to acceleration due to gravity, 9.81 meters s2, equal to coefficient of friction between tires and road. B. Design speed V is 75 km per hour, which is 20.83 meters per second. Reaction time T is 2.5 seconds. Gradient N is negative 2.5%, indicating a descending gradient. Coefficient of friction F is 0.36. From IRC, G is 9.81 meters per second squared. Step 1. Calculate lag distance. Distance traveled during reaction time. Lag distance done is equal to V times T, which is 20.83 times 2.5, resulting in 52.08 meters. Calculate braking distance. Using formula. For a descending gradient, we use the adjusted formula. The braking distance d2 is calculated as V squared divided by 2 times G times the quantity F minus N. Substituting the values, we get 20.83 squared divided by 2 times 9.81 times 0.36 minus negative 0.025, which equals 434.59. This simplifies to 434.59 divided by 2.98 1 times 0.385, which equals 57.5 meters. Step 3. Calculate total SSD. Total stopping sight distance SSD is the sum of lag distance d1 and braking distance d2, which equals 52.08 plus 57.5, resulting in 109.58 meters. Conclusion. Thus, the stopping sight distance SSD is approximately 110 meters. PET. A. What is passenger car unit, PCU? Write down the factors affecting PCU values. B. Discuss different types of traffic signs. Answer. A. Passenger car unit, PCU. The passenger car unit, PCU, is a standard unit used in transportation engineering to represent the relative effect of different vehicle types on road traffic flow. Since roads handle a mixture of vehicles, cars, buses, trucks, two-wheelers, etc., it is essential to convert the flow of all vehicles into equivalent units of a typical passenger car. This helps to estimate the road's capacity and design the pavement structure. For example, passenger car, pickup van, auto rickshaw equal to 1 PCU, motorcycle, scooter or cycle equal to 0.50 PCU, truck or bus equal to 3 PCU, tractor trailer, bullock carts equal to 4.50 to 6 PCU. Factors affecting PCU values. Vehicle type. Different vehicles affect traffic flow differently. Heavy vehicles like trucks or buses occupy more road space, thus having higher PCU values. Road conditions. On narrow roads or roads with sharp curves, heavy vehicles' PCU values may be higher due to their slower movement. Traffic conditions. High congestion can increase the effective PCU for each vehicle due to limited movement space. Speed. Faster vehicles may have lower PCU values compared to those that move slowly or stop frequently. Environmental conditions. Adverse weather conditions, for example, rain or fog, may increase the time needed for vehicles to pass, affecting their PCU. Driver behavior. Aggressive driving or erratic lane changes can increase the effective PCU values. B. Traffic signs are essential for road safety and efficient traffic management. They communicate important information to drivers and pedestrians. Traffic signs are broadly classified into three types. Regulatory signs. These signs inform road users of certain laws and regulations that must be followed. Failure to comply with regulatory signs can result in legal action. Examples include stop sign, give way, speed limit, no entry. These signs are typically circular, with a red border and black legends on a white background. Warning signs. These signs alert drivers to potential hazards or changes in road conditions ahead. They help prevent accidents by warning drivers of dangerous situations. Examples include curve ahead, pedestrian crossing, slippery road. These signs are usually triangular, with a yellow background and black symbols. Informative signs. These signs provide information to drivers about the road, facilities, or other helpful details that assist in navigation. Examples include distance to destination, service area, route number. These are typically rectangular or square with a green or blue background. In addition to these three main categories, work zone signs are used temporarily when construction or maintenance work is being carried out on the road. These signs ensure safety in areas where road conditions are changing temporarily.